Hello and welcome to the Financial Management Seminar course. I am Farah Osama, and today's lesson is titled Digital Currencies. In an era characterized by rapid technological developments, digital currencies have become the focus of global attention. They are not just a financial fad, but represent a radical shift in the very concept of money. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, discussions about digital currencies have come to dominate both economic and technical debates. While traditional currencies have dominated the global economy for decades, digital currencies are beginning to establish themselves as an innovative alternative that promises to change the way we deal with money, especially in an increasingly digitized world. Digital currencies are not just new financial instruments, but represent a financial system based on advanced technology that enables trading and exchange in a secure environment without the need for traditional intermediaries such as banks. As these currencies continue to spread and attract increasing interest, many questions remain about their nature. Are they merely a commercial alternative for the future, or will they permanently change the global financial system? In this video, number 2, we will review the concept of digital currencies, their types, and their characteristics. The concept of digital currencies. Digital currencies are digital assets that are only available in digital form and do not have a physical presence like banknotes or coins. They have similar characteristics to traditional currencies, such as being a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account, but they differ in that they allow for instant transactions and unlimited transfers of ownership without traditional intermediaries such as banks. Digital currencies include several types, such as electronic currencies issued by central financial institutions and virtual currencies that may be encrypted using encryption and blockchain technologies, such as Bitcoin, or unencrypted and managed in other ways. This classification is interrelated within the field of digital currencies that have entered the world of economics and trade to provide advanced digital solutions, providing users with secure and effective means of payment and investment that are compatible with the global digital transformation. Types of digital currencies. Digital currencies are a modern form of intangible money, available entirely in digital form, allowing for instant transactions and transfer of ownership without borders or intermediaries. They include electronic currencies issued by central institutions and virtual currencies, which are divided into encrypted and unencrypted, and are used in digital commerce and investment with high flexibility and security. 1. Electronic currencies. These are digital representations of traditional currencies such as the dollar or the euro. They are not new currencies in themselves, but rather digital conversions of official currencies recognized by governments. In other words, they are traditional currencies that exist in digital form, such as PayPal balances or e-wallets, but represent the same value as paper or metal currencies. In this case, their value is not determined by supply and demand, but rather by the currency they represent, such as the US dollar or the euro. Characteristics of electronic currencies: intangible digital form, stored as electronic credit on cards or digital wallets. They often rely on a centralized system managed by financial institutions, facilitates instant electronic transactions. They enable secure and fast storage and transfer of funds, used within specific systems or electronic networks, may be centralized or decentralized depending on the type of system. They are legally regulated in most countries. They differ from cryptocurrencies in terms of technology and regulation. These characteristics make electronic currencies an effective digital financial solution that integrates with the modern economy and encourages digital payments. Types of electronic currencies. Hardware-based electronic currencies. These are currencies whose purchasing power is based on a personal physical device, such as smart cards that rely on high-security electronic chips. Prepaid cards, electronic purses, are a common example where monetary value is stored on the card and can be transferred using device readers or cards without the need for a direct network connection or reliance on a central server during the exchange process. This type of electronic currency is characterized by carrying limited amounts that do not enable their owners to hold large amounts of money, which increases the degree of security, and does not require the user to enter personal information or data when using it. This type includes stored value cards, cards that are loaded with a monetary value and used to make direct electronic payments. Debit cards. These allow the holder to carry out banking transactions directly. When used, the amount is immediately deducted from the user's bank account balance and payments are made electronically. All of these types facilitate electronic transactions without the need for constant contact with banks and provide an additional level of privacy and protection for user data. Software-based electronic currencies. These are electronic currencies that are stored and managed via the internet, and their value is stored at a central source server rather than on a device or personal card belonging to the user. The values are not stored on a chip, card, or individual computer, but on a central server belonging to the entity that issues these currencies. Therefore, this type is called server-based electronic currencies. The most famous examples are eCash, electronic checks. These financial instruments rely on a constant internet connection and authentication via central servers instead of storing value locally with the user. They are typically used for online payment and transfer services within a secure digital environment and under the supervision of the issuing entity. 2. Virtual currencies. In light of the tremendous digital transformation that the global economy is witnessing today, virtual currencies have emerged as one of the new financial phenomena that have redrawn the contours of exchange and value outside the framework of traditional monetary systems. The growing interest in these currencies reflects the desire of individuals and institutions to seek flexible, fast, and decentralized means of payment and investment, away from the control of banks and government agencies. This reality has created new challenges and opportunities, not only in the financial sphere, but also in technical and legislative aspects, making virtual currencies a subject of widespread and ongoing debate in economic and legal circles. Definition of virtual currencies. The definition of virtual currencies has not settled on a single fixed definition, but is constantly changing, depending on technological developments, and the expansion of the uses of these currencies, as well as their increasing acceptance among the public. Therefore, they have gradually begun to achieve general acceptance for settling transactions and other purposes. In 2015, the European Central Bank defined virtual currencies as a digital representation of value not issued by a central bank, credit institution, or monetary institution, which in some circumstances can be used as an alternative to cash. Characteristics of virtual currencies. The characteristics of virtual currencies can be summarized as follows. 1. They exist only in digital or electronic form. Virtual currencies, such as electronic money, do not rely on physical media such as paper or coins, but are stored in digital form on computers or electronic servers and are traded exclusively online. 2. They are issued by their developers. Virtual currency developers issue them and determine how they are used and traded, without any connection to central banks or official financial institutions, meaning they are not official currencies issued by a monetary authority. 3. Not subject to regulation. Virtual currencies are not subject to supervision or regulation by governments or central banks, as they are traded in private online communities according to rules and mechanisms determined by the users themselves. This lack of regulation makes them vulnerable to multiple risks, such as fraud, money laundering, and price volatility. However, this situation may change in the future with the development of financial legislation. 4. There are several types. There are multiple types of virtual currencies that differ in their characteristics and how they are used. Some are used in closed environments, such as electronic games, while others rely on encryption and blockchain technologies such as Bitcoin. Each type has its own characteristics and digital community within which it is traded. In short, virtual currencies are digital assets that are independent of the traditional financial system, managed and traded electronically, and characterized by decentralization and continuous development with modern technologies. Types of virtual currencies. Non-cryptocurrencies. These are centralized virtual currencies that are not usually linked to the real economy, as they are only used within specific digital environments such as electronic games or virtual applications. They are often obtained without paying real money, but rather in exchange for performing certain tasks or achieving accomplishments within the system itself. These currencies are used exclusively within the virtual community to which they belong and cannot be spent outside of it. For example, a player in an electronic game receives a balance of points or units of the game currency when they achieve specific goals and can use them to purchase items or services within the game only. Therefore, they are closed system virtual currencies with limited use, designed to serve a specific digital environment and not extend to the outside economic world. Cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are a type of digital asset that relies on advanced encryption technologies to ensure the security and privacy of online transactions. They are not physical currencies that can be touched, but rather a digital payment system used primarily to facilitate instant and secure financial transfers. They rely primarily on a technology called blockchain, which acts as a public ledger distributed across a network of devices, where all transactions are recorded securely and transparently, making them difficult to manipulate or falsify. Bitcoin is the first and most popular cryptocurrency, launched in 2009, followed by many others such as Ethereum, Litecoin, and others. These currencies are characterized by the ability to send and receive funds at high speed without the need for a banking intermediary. They are also used as an investment tool and are characterized by the ability to program transactions through smart contracts. Users can buy and sell virtual cryptocurrencies according to their exchange rates through many digital platforms that allow investment in this type of asset, with the possibility of reselling them later to obtain price differences. These virtual cryptocurrencies allow users to purchase goods and services, whether virtual or real, online. However, despite their advantages, trading in them carries high risks due to extreme price fluctuations, weak legal regulation, the possibility of losing wallet keys, and security risks from cyber attacks. Nevertheless, cryptocurrencies have introduced a new concept to the financial system and generated a different way of thinking about how to manage wealth and transactions in the digital age. Characteristics of cryptocurrencies. The characteristics of cryptocurrencies can be summarized as follows. 1. Decentralization. Cryptocurrencies are not subject to any central authority, such as central banks or financial institutions. Transactions are confirmed and executed through a distributed network of users, blockchain, without the need for a single controlling entity. This means that transaction validation is performed by computers connected to the network, reducing dependence on traditional financial institutions. 2. Anonymity. Cryptocurrency users enjoy a high degree of privacy, as there is no need to disclose personal identity to complete transactions. Transactions are conducted using codes or digital addresses instead of real names, ensuring anonymity between parties. However, the network keeps a permanent, encrypted record of all transactions in a secure and transparent manner. 3. Immutability of the transaction record. Cryptocurrencies feature a fixed, unalterable transaction record called a blockchain. No transaction can be deleted or modified after it has been documented, making the system more secure than traditional banking systems, which can be manipulated in some cases. Attempting to hack or alter this ledger requires enormous computing power that is beyond the capabilities of most entities. 4. Speed. Any transaction or cross-border transfer using any type of cryptocurrency takes between 15 seconds and 10 minutes at most. 5. Limited supply and scarcity. Unlike traditional currencies, which central banks can print without limit, most cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, have a maximum issuance limit, which gives them scarcity and increases their value over time. This predetermined supply is what makes them more similar to precious metals such as gold and makes them prone to price increases as demand increases. In short, cryptocurrencies are digital, decentralized, secure, limited in supply, and tamper-proof, making them a new form of digital money based on trust in technology rather than trust in institutions. Risks of cryptocurrencies. The text in the image addresses the disadvantages and challenges of digital currencies and can be academically rephrased as follows. The most significant risks facing cryptocurrencies. The risks facing cryptocurrencies can be summarized as follows. 1. Lack of legal oversight. Cryptocurrencies are not subject to monetary authority oversight, and many countries impose restrictions on their trading or use, which means they lack official legal recognition in most economic systems. 2. Price volatility. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile in value, making it difficult to determine a stable price for them and undermining confidence in them as a stable medium of exchange or store of value. 3. Use in illegal transactions. Due to the absence of government supervision and control, cryptocurrencies can be exploited for illegal activities such as money laundering or terrorist financing, especially given the difficulty of tracing the source of funds or identifying their real owners. 4. Cyber attacks. Although cryptocurrencies rely on advanced encryption systems to protect transactions, they remain vulnerable to cyber attacks and security breaches, exposing them to the risk of losing data or cryptocurrency as a result of hacking. Number 5. Lack of financial backing. Cryptocurrencies are not backed by any financial asset or traditional currency such as the dollar or the euro, nor are they issued by a central bank. This means that their value depends solely on supply and demand in the markets, which increases the risk of losing their value and makes them far from the monetary stability provided by official currencies. It can be said that these challenges represent the main obstacles to the spread of cryptocurrencies and their adoption as a complete alternative to traditional currencies at the present time, despite the advantages they offer in terms of speed, decentralization, and ease of online transactions. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.